after Jesus died and resurrected. Other scholars believe that at the latest, the letter would have been written from 50 to 60 AD. And you must note that it would now be the first work written in the New Testament. It is older than the first gospel, which was Mark, written between 66 to 70 AD. It is important to put this in mind. Ang pagkakaayos po kasi ng New Testament natin, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, tapos Acts, Romans, etc., akala natin yun din ang chronological order ng pagkakasulat. No. Ang pinakanaunang nasulat, na-compile at na-preserve na literature ng Christianity ay ang mga sulat ni Paul. At ang kauna-unahan dyan, yung Galatians. May kwento, kaya siya sumulat. May background, kaya nagkaroon ng katuruan. At dapat nating unawain ang background na ito. Because by understanding it, you will understand the true ministry of Jesus, which Paul has so clearly taught and fought for. Galatians 1, 1 to 2. From the Apostle Paul and from all the Lord's followers with me. So, Paul introduces the letter. It's from Paul to the Christians in Galatia, in modern-day Turkey. But this is loaded with meaning. Introduction pa lang. Remember, may dahilan, kaya sumulat si Paul. Merong urgent issue. So the letter is from Paul and all the other Lord's followers with him. This is for the Galatians. It is not from someone else. It's from Paul. It is not from those who do not follow the Lord. It is not from those who follow someone else. It is not from those who are not with Paul. Clear agad. Galing kay Paul, hindi galing sa iba. Para sa mga mananampalataya, kailangang maunawaan. So it was a greetings as well as clarifications. Kung kanino galing at para kanino. Galatians 1:4. Christ obeyed God our Father and gave Himself as a sacrifice for our sins to rescue us from this evil world. Evil has to be overcome. And evil here means usually evil, the usual evil. Yung pumapatay, nananakit, nagnanakaw, gumagawa ng masama. Pero may isa pang kahulugan ng evil na ito na ginapi ng kamatayan at pagkabuhay ni Jesus. It is what is religiously wrong or religiously evil. Nasanay kasi ang mga tao na pag sinabing wrong, yun lang laging adulterer, yun lang laging murderer, yung thief, yung liar. Pero may napakalaking wrong na nane-neglect ang mga tao, yung what is religiously wrong but seems to be right. Mas maraming biktima yon. Yung akala mo tama pero maling religious teaching and practice. At ito ang tema ng Galatians. Napakahalagang letter. It was in response to a big controversy and problem that was ripping the church apart very, very early on. At hanggang ngayon, nararamdaman ito sa modern day church, yung mga issues na itatackle ni Paul. Galatians 1, 6 to 7, I am shocked that you have so quickly turned from God, who chose you because of His wonderful kindness. You have believed another message, when there is really only one true message. But some people are causing you trouble and want to make you turn away from the good news about Christ. So Paul plunges quickly into his topic. Sabi niya, nasa shock ako na tumalikod lang ako matapos ko kayong turuan ng kay tagal-tagal. May sumingit lang na nagturo habang wala ako at kayo naman ay nanganiniwala. Kaya bilis-bilis yung tinalikuran ang mensaheng itinuro ko sa inyo para sumunod kayo sa ibang mensahe samantalang ibinigay ko na sa inyo yung totoong mensahe. At ngayon, yung mga pinakinggan nyo, lumilikha ng gulo sa inyong mga buhay dahil gusto nila kayong tumalikod sa kabutihan ng Diyos sa pamamagitan ni Jesus. So malaki talagang issue. Ang background kasi nito, si Paul ay nagtuturo sa iba't ibang mga lugar. At matapos siyang umalis sa Galatia para magturo sa ibang mga lugar, may mga dumating doon na nagturo ng ibang doktrina. At nahalina namang sumunod itong mga Galatians, kaya agad-agad sumulat si Paul. Sabi niya, itinuro ko na sa inyo ang totoo, naniniwala ka ngayon sa nang aakit sa inyo ng mga kung ano-anong katuruan, naggulo lang ang idudulot sa inyong buhay. The Galatians were Paul's flock. The Galatians were taught by some visiting preachers to abandon the faith Paul taught them, which is salvation by faith. Yes, yung issue ng salvation by faith ay issue na noon pa. Ano ang itinuturo sa kanila nung bagong dumating? The Galatians were taught to get circumcised. Ang mga Jew are circumcised, aside from the Egyptians, na mas nauna namang nagsisircumcise sa mga Egyptians, but the Jews were known to be circumcised. Circumcision is the cutting of the foreskin at the tip of a man's phallus. At yun ang isang distinction nila bilang isang lahi. Pero si Paul, nung nagturo siya ng Christianity sa mga Gentiles, meaning mga taong hindi Jew, therefore hindi mga circumcised, hindi na niya nirequire ang mga ito na mag-circumcise pa. Hindi na niya nirequire ang mga Gentiles na sumunod sa mga dietary laws ng Israel, sumunod sa lahat ng mga tradisyon at kautusan, the 10 Commandments and the 613 Mizvahs, other commandments of the Jews. Hindi na. Pero may dumating na mga nagturo at pinipilit nila yung mga Galatians na magpa-circumcise kahit Gentile sila dahil kailangan daw yon para maging totoong Kristiyano. At the Galatians were being taught to submit to the Jewish law for salvation. Issue na yung works or faith for salvation. Legalism or grace for salvation. Kaya hanggang ngayon, umaalingaw-ngaw pa ang mainit na topic na ito. Because the topic is really work versus faith. Bakit nabahala na sobra si Paul? Dahil matapos yung magturo sa mga Galatians that if you believe in Jesus, His work applies to you, His holiness becomes yours. When you believe in Jesus, you become a child of God, an offspring of Abraham, though legally not an Israelite and not a Jew, because now your citizenship is in heaven. It is secured by the finished and perfect work of Jesus. Salvation by faith in the Lord Jesus. Dumating yung mga nagtuturo na sinabing, no, kahit naniniwala kayo kay Jesus, dapat maging Jewish muna kayo. Dapat kayong sumunod sa mga patakaran ng mga Jew, sa kanilang mga batas. In other words, you will become a Jewish Christian. Hindi pwedeng Gentile Christian. Pag ginawa yun, merong malaking mawawala. Because the Jews were very concerned with works. At pagka mga tao ay sumunod ng sumunod sa works for their salvation, mababaliwala ang kamatayan ni Kristo. Bakit pa siya namatay? Pwede naman palang maging Jew ka na lang, masasave ka na. So the true message, sabi ni Paul, would be distorted. And the true rescue and salvation offered by God through Jesus would be voided. Everything nakataya sa usapang ito, everything that is important to Christians. Paano ba talaga nasisave ang isang tao? Sa pamamagitan ng pagsunod sa mga batas ng Israel? Sa pamamagitan ng pagpapacircumcise, ang hindi pagkain ng ganito, sa pagkain ng ganon, sa pagsusuot nito, hindi pagsusuot nun. Issue na yon. At pinalaya na ni Jesus ang mga tao mula sa katuruan na yon, kaya nga siya ipinapatay ng mga Jewish leaders. Nawalan sila ng halaga, nawalan sila ng importansya. They were no longer in the center of God's economy. That's why Jesus was killed on the prodding of the Jewish religious leaders. Si Paul nanindigan sa katuruan na yon. At yun ang kanyang ipinaglaban. At ngayon yung kanyang mga converts, mga Galatians at tinuruan, naaakit sumunod doon sa mga Jewish leaders who are saying that they are not enough, kailangan maging Jewish muna sila. Kaya, galit na galit si Paul. Ba't hindi ka magagalit? Nabaliwala ang kamatayan ni Kristo, nabaliwala yung salvation by faith, yung grace of God the Father, available by believing in Jesus. It is everything. All other issues are minor. Galatians 1:8, I pray that God will punish anyone who preaches anything different from our message to you. It doesn't matter if that person is one of us or an angel from heaven. So Paul prescribes punishment for those who preach salvation and spirituality by the Jewish law, by works, no matter who they are. Sabi ni Paul, nawa parusahan ng langit ng matinding parusa ang sinumang nagtuturo sa inyo ng ganitong katuruan na hindi sangayon sa dinala kong mensahe sa inyo. Kaya anghel pa yan galing sa langit. Kaya sino pa yung Herodes? Sabi niya, dapat maparusahan ng Diyos. Masyadong concerned si Paul doon sa salvation by faith, sa eternal security of the believer through faith in Jesus. Galatians 1:10, I am not trying to please people. I want to please God. Do you think I am trying to please people? If I were doing that, I would not be a servant of Christ. So hindi ako man-pleaser. Hindi ako concerned sa impression ng iba, sasabihin ng iba. Kasi kung ganun ako, hindi ako pwede maglingkod kay Kristo. Bakit? Kasi ibang-iba nga ang turo ni Kristo sa kaugalian ng Israel. Kasi sabi niya, kung ako magiging servant ni Kristo, talagang maraming hindi matutuwa sa akin. Hindi ako pwedeng magturo para lang matuwa sila sa akin. According to Paul, those who preach salvation by works, by the law, are men pleasers. They were only pleasing the Jews. Even today, many groups and movements exist to please, to imitate, and to promote the Jews. Buksan nyo ang inyong mga mata. Marami ngayong ganyan din. Ang gusto nila, kopyahin yung mga Jew, kopyahin ang kanilang mga kasuotan, ang kanilang mga tradisyon, ang kanilang mga piyesta, ang kanilang mga gawi at gawa, ang kinakain nila at hindi. Sinabi na nga ni Paul nung araw, hindi nyo kailangang kopyahin kasi Gentile kayo Pinalaya na kayo ni Jesus. At sabi nga ni Gamaliel sa kanyang mga kalahi, tayo man hindi nakasunod sa kaugalian ng ating mga ninuno. Bakit pa natin ipapataw sa balikat ng mga bagong Kristiyano at mananampalataya na hindi naman Hudyo, yung mga bigat na ni tayong mga Israelita ay hindi natin na kayang dalhin? Sabi ni Gamaliel. Kaya nga pinadalhin na ni Jesus. Tapos ibabalik na naman sila sa kanyang mga regulasyon. Bawal kumain ng ganito, bawal magsuot niyan, ganito at ganon. Kaya si Paul, high blood. I want you to know that no one made up the message I preach. It wasn't given or taught to me by some mere human. My message came directly from Jesus Christ when He appeared to me. The message was given by Christ in a very special way. Alam naman natin na si Paul hindi kasama doon sa original 12 na disciples. Bakit kinailangan na matapos lamang ang ilang araw, si Jesus ay magpakita kay Pablo para si Pablo ay makonvert at binigyan niya ng misyon to teach salvation by grace through faith, very especially to the Gentiles. Dahil hindi ganun ang nagaganap. Paul had to be called to the mission, and the Lord chose him for his background, for his skills, and for his proven faithfulness that we can see now. The message meant here, of course, that was given by Jesus to Paul is salvation by faith in Jesus apart from works, apart from the Jewish law. Sabi niya, nagpakita sa akin, kinausap ako ni Jesus, diretsahan. Hindi ko ito nadinig kung kani-kanino lamang. Hindi ko napulot kung kani-kanino lamang na guro. Diretsong ibinigay sa akin ni Kristo. Now, yung message na sinasabi dito ni Paul na talaga namang ipaglalaban niya, hindi yung mga personal teachings niya or preferences on cultural, social, or daily issues of particular people in particular situations. In other words, yung mga bagay na not of universal application, hindi kasama sa sinasabi ni Paul na ito ang itinuro sa akin ni Jesus. Ang talagang itinuro sa kanya na dapat ipaglaban at ituro sa iba, be saved by believing in Jesus. Your faith in Jesus makes you holy in the eyes of God. Your faith saves you. You don't have to work for your salvation. Pero alam niyo naman, syempre, si Paul, palibasat buhay na guro, na nagtuturo sa mga buhay na tao, may mga nagtanong din sa kanya at may mga katuruan din siya tungkol sa mga pang-araw-araw na buhay na hindi universal ang application. At yun kuminsan ay opinion lang niya ang ibinibigay niya bilang isang tao, hindi kasama doon sa inireveal sa kanya ni Jesus yung mga opinion niya. Halimbawa, sa 1 Corinthians 7:12, sabi ni Paul, I don't know of anything else the Lord said about marriage. All I can do is give you my own advice. Said in the New Revised Standard Version, sabi ni Paul, to the rest I say, I and not the Lord, etc., etc. Mga kapatid, dapat malinaw to sa atin. May mga itinuro si Jesus kay Pablo, diretsahan, person to person, na mahalagang ituro at ipaglaban. Yun ang everything. And that is, people are saved from sin, from the punishment of sin, from the power of sin by believing in Jesus. That the work of Jesus is enough to pay for the sins of all people, of all time, in all places. Yun ang mahalagang revelation. Pero dahil si Paul ay buhay na teacher, dealing with living people, may mga issue pa siya na iba na ni-raise at pinag-usapan tulad ng magbebelo ba ang mga babae or not, gaano ba kahaba ang buhok ng mga babae, ano ba ang behavior ng ganito, ng mga mag-asawa. Hindi nakasama yun sa major doctrine. Yun ay ethical, cultural issues, pang-araw-araw na buhay na ngayon ay sundin mo kung tama sa iyong buhay, kapakipakinabang sa iyo at angkop sa iyong kalagayan. Pero kung hindi na, hindi yun mandatory, hindi yun kasama sa ini-reveal na dapat ipaglaban hanggang kamatayan. So dapat meron tayong pag-a-assign ng value, ng bigat, ng timbang sa mga katuruan. Merong mga mandatory, at yan yung ni-reveal ng Diyos diretso kay Jesus. Meron naman na preferred. Ibig sabihin, well, mas kaibig-ibig na gawin mo ito sa iyong buhay, lalo't kung makakabuti sa iyo, pero hindi para ikamatay o ipagpakamatay o ilaban ng patayan, kasi hindi naman salvation yung issue. Kung ano lang ang kakainin mo, pagka ganitong okasyon, ano lang ang isusuot mo, hindi yun kasama sa malalaking issue. At merong matatawag tayong optional, ang pagsunod. Sabi nga ni Paul, tungkol naman sa mga issue mag-asawa, wala na akong ibang nalaman pa na sinabi ni Jesus sa akin. Pero ako, bilang Pablo, bilang taong may karanasan, etong opinion ko, sasabihin ko sa inyo. Therefore, hindi na dapat ipaglaban ng patayan yun. Sundin mo na lang kung bagay sa'yo, angkop sa'yo, at makakabuti sa mga sangkot. Hindi lahat ng sinabi ni Paul tungkol sa kalitliitang bagay ay ilalaban ng patayan. Pero merong dapat na talagang panindigan. Yun ang nireveal sa kanya at ipinaglaban niya, salvation by faith. Pinakakadiin-diin ko ito mga kapatid dahil ito hanggang ngayon issue today. Dapat maintindihan natin ang pinagmulan ng issue na, Tito, nawawala po ba ang salvation or not? Losing salvation ba kayo o eternal? Issue yan dahil ang salvation na losing depends on works. Pag sinabing eternal, depends on faith. Ang laking pagkakaiba nun at yun ay humahati sa maraming mananampalataya today. Magkakaiba ang timbang ng turo, hindi pare-pareho. Si Jesus man, sabi niya sa Matthew 23:24, sabi niya sa mga Pharisees, "You blind leaders, you strain out a small fly but swallow a camel." So niya, minamaliit nyo ang malaki tulad ng kamelyo at may maliliit na bagay, minamalaki nyo. Sinasala nyo pa, ayaw nyong mainom ang maliit na kulisap, pero lumululon kayo ng buong kamelyo. Ibig sabihin ni Jesus, may mga bagay na malaki at may maliit. Ibagay nyo naman kung paano nyo papahalagahan sa pagtuturo at sa paggigiit ng mga katuruan na yon. So, everything said, the message that Paul was fighting for was not about daily life, about cultural life, about fashion, about hair, about social relationships of people. No. He was fighting for the important thing, that people are saved through faith, not by becoming Jews, not by obeying the laws of the Jews, and not by killing yourself trying to obey all the laws because you cannot anyway. It's really important. Galatians 1:13-14. You know how I used to live as a Jew? I was cruel to God's church and even tried to destroy it. I was a much better Jew than anyone else my own age. And I obeyed every law that our ancestors had given us. So sinasabi ni Paul, alam nyo, kung sa pagiging Jew din lang at pagiging Jew, papunta pa lang kayo, pauwi na ako. Bihira kung meron man na makakapantay sa performance ko bilang Jew. Sinunod ko lahat yan. Nag-aral ako sa paanan ni Gamaliel. Lahat ng katuruan sinunod ko. So Paul was the ideal Jew and follower and implementer of the law. In other words, sabi ni Paul, yung mga nagmamagaling na Jew na yan, ang sasabihin ko lang sa kanila, papunta pa lang kayo, pauwi na ako. Been there, done that. Alam na alam ko ang pasikot-sikot ng pagiging Jew. Pero sabi niya, alam nyo, kinatagpo ako ni Jesus. Tinuruan ako, tinawag ako upang magturo. Bakit kaya? Dahil hindi tinuturo nito mga naiwan na dapat magturo? Why did Jesus have to appear to Paul and commission him when there were the original disciples anyway? there was a thriving church in Jerusalem at that time, why call Paul? What necessitated that? The answer, we will find later. Meanwhile, let's read Galatians 1:18 to 19. Sa pagpapatuloy, matapos si Pablo ay magkaroon ng vision of Jesus, a personal appearance of Jesus to him, sabi niya, 3 years later, I went to visit Peter in Jerusalem and stayed with him for 15 days. The only other apostle I saw was James, the Lord's brother. So 3 years after Paul's conversion, dun pa lang siya nagkaroon ng direct contact with the church leaders in Jerusalem. He went to Jerusalem and stayed with Peter. So Paul was in consultation with the apostles in Jerusalem 3 years after his call from Jesus. And for only 14 short days or 15. Anong ibig sabihin nito sa atin mga kapatid? That his teachings did not come from the Jerusalem apostles. Kaya sabi niya, ang alam ko, hindi tao lang ang nagturo sa akin, si Jesus mismo. So for 3 years after his conversion, independent of Jerusalem officialdom, he was teaching people about Christ. Kaya dumami dumami yung churches in the Gentile world. Galatians 2:1, matapos yung unang meeting niya sa Jerusalem, 14 years ang lumipas. 14 years later, which means 17 years after his conversion, I went to Jerusalem with Barnabas. Paul's only other meeting with the Jerusalem apostles happened 14 years later. So in 17 years, 2 beses lang niyang nakapanayam ang mga leaders sa Jerusalem. Paul was working independently from the church in Jerusalem. That is the obvious conclusion. What was he teaching? Ano ang itinuturo niya? At sa kabilang banda, what were they teaching in Jerusalem? Ito ang issue ng Galatians. Galatians 2:1-5. I also took along to Jerusalem Titus. He was a Greek, but still he wasn't forced to be circumcised. We went there because of those who pretended to be followers and had sneaked in among us as spies. They had come to take away the freedom that Christ Jesus had given us, and they were trying to make us their slaves. But we wanted you to have the true message. That's why we didn't give in to them, not even for a second. May dahilan. Kaya pumunta si Pablo sa Jerusalem 17 years later after conversion and 14 years later after the first meeting. Ang mga followers niya, ang mga disciples niya, ang mga leaders niya, mga Greek, mga Gentiles, therefore hindi circumcised, hindi Jews. Sabi niya, at saka yung si Titus, hindi kahit kailan namin yan pinilit na magpa-circumcise. Pero, may nakipagmabutihan sa amin, nakihalubilo sa amin, at minanmanan ng aming mga buhay, at nalaman nila na hindi pala circumcised itong si Titus, at nililikhaan nila ng napakaraming gulo, at gusto nila si Titus sa katandaan na nito magpatuli pa para maipatunayan na siya ay mananampalataya ni Jesus. At hindi ko papayagan yan, kaya pumunta ngayon si Pablo sa Jerusalem para i-explain ang bagay na yon. Sabi ko, malaya na kami sa mga batas ng mga Jew. Gusto nyo pa kami maging alipin muli. Pinalaya na nga ni Jesus. Binigyan ko na nga yung mga tao ng true message. Gusto nyo ngayon ibalik sa Judaism yung mga tao? So Jesus appeared to Paul and gave him the true message. And that message was freedom from the law. The Jerusalem leaders wanted to take away that freedom, but Paul didn't give in. Sabi niya, alang-alang sa inyo, sa kalayaan ninyo, at alang-alang sa katapatan sa kamatayan ni Jesus, at sa kabutihan ng Diyos Ama sa langit, na gusto kayong palayain, nanindigan kami, hindi kami bumigay kahit saglit. Can you imagine standing against this opposition of the established leaders and leadership? The particular issue was circumcision. As we have said, it is the cutting of the foreskin at the tip of a man's phallus that gave Jews a distinctive mark. But apparently, there was a bigger issue. All the other laws of Judaism. The laws of diet, the laws of the Sabbath, the laws of appearances, of clothing, etc., etc. Therefore, there was a division in the church so early on. Dalawang major teaching, salvation by faith or by works. Magiging Christian ka just as you are o kailangan maging Jew ka at Jewish. Yun ang issue. So the general and universal issue was law or works or grace. Alin ang pagpipilian mo? Jewish Christianity or Gentile Christianity? We must take note that Paul was not making the Jewish believers Gentile. Hindi niya sinasabi sa mga Jews na Christian, magpaka-Gentile na lang kayo. No. But the Jerusalem leadership was making the Gentile believers Jewish. Sabi ng mga Jewish Christian, Gentile kayo, maging Jew muna kayo. Observe all our customs and traditions para kayo maging totoong Kristiyano. Could this true message be the reason why Jesus appeared to Paul? Because some leaders of the Christian community so early on were reverting to the law, abandoning Jesus' teachings on freedom from the law, at dapat ay grace na. Could this be the reason why Paul was instead taken to the third heaven to receive revelations and was sent to preach? It's very interesting, this third heaven revelation. 2 Corinthians 12, 2-4. I know about one of Christ's followers. Of course, Paul was talking about himself in the second person, who was taken up into the third heaven 14 years ago. I don't know if the man was still in his body when it happened, but God certainly knows. As I said, only God really knows if this man was in his body at the time. But he was taken up into paradise, where he heard things that are too wonderful to tell. Paul was telling his own experience. So 14 years ago, I was taken to the third heaven. But it was such a new dimension that I was not aware if I was taken bodily or only spiritually. But I was taken to the third heaven, where none of you have gone. And I was taught by God Himself of wonderful things that are too big for small minds, too wonderful to tell to everyone. It was a most special impartation. Therefore, universal teaching yun. Alangan man din nila pa sa third heaven para pag-usapan lang yung mga buhok, mga damit, mga kakainin. Kaya sinasabi natin may teaching si Paul na cultural, optional, pwedeng preferred, but not to die or kill for. Ang to die or kill for, yung major teaching na itinuro sa kanya, that men are free from the law, they can approach the throne of God through the blood of Jesus, that by believing in Jesus, their sins are forgiven. By non-performance, they become holy because the holiness of Christ is given to them for free when they believe. Yun ang to die for na message. And Paul died for that message. Now, back to the story, Galatians 2:6. Some of them were supposed to be important leaders, yun daw leaders sa Jerusalem. But I didn't care who they were. God doesn't have any favorites. None of those so-called special leaders added anything to my message. Ang linaw ni Paul sabi niya, kahit sino pa sila ng mga leader doon, ano sa akin? Wala silang naidagdag ni anuman sa ibinigay na sa akin ng Diyos. Walang naidagdag na perspective o kaalaman. Ipinilit lang nila yung gusto nila noon pa. So Paul's message was uniquely his. He was commissioned by the risen Christ, no less. And the message was given to him in the third heaven by God, no less. Kaya sabi niya, hindi ako paaawat kahit kaninong tao lamang. Ang mensahe ng kaligtasan sa pananalig kay Jesus ay ipamumuhay ko at kung kailangan mamatay ako para dito'y gagawin ko. It was given to me by God Himself in the third heaven. I was commissioned by Jesus Himself. I don't report to anybody. Kaya sabi niya sa Galatians 6:17, from now on, let no one cause me trouble, for I bear on my body the marks of Jesus. Tumabi-tabi kayo, walang humaharang-harang dahil hindi niyo ako dapat gambalain. Kitang-kita na sa katawan ko ang lahat ng latay, sugat, hagupit, lahat ng mga naranasan ko para sa mahalagang mensaheng ito. At hindi ako nasugpo nun, hindi ako pasusugpo kahit kanino. Ganon ka steadfast yung panghahawak ni Paul sa kahalagahan ng mensahe ng salvation by faith through Christ. Galatians 2:7, they, meaning in the Jerusalem leadership, realized that God had sent me with the good news for the Gentiles and that He had sent Peter with the same message for the Jews. Good news. Dito galing mga kapatid yung word na gospel. Pag sabing gospel, ibig sabihin good news. Ano yung good news? Salvation by grace. That is good news. Ang kabaligtaran nito is salvation by works. That's bad news. Because you cannot work hard enough. To be saved. You cannot obey all the law all the time. So yung naniniwala ng salvation by works, bad ang news mo. Kasi kung takot-takot na trabaho ang gagawin mo buong buhay, kulang pa rin. Bakit good news yung salvation? Kasi yung trabaho ginawa na ni Jesus. Kasi magiging banal ka na pag nanalig ka. Lilipat sa iyo yung kabanalan ni Jesus. Magiging anak ka ng Diyos. Magiging apo ka ni Abraham by believing in Christ. Kaya good news. Dumali. Salvation is free, but it is not cheap. Jesus paid for it with His life. And Paul would be paying with his own dear life for this message. Galatians 2:9, James, Peter, and John realized that God had given me the message about His undeserved kindness. And these men are supposed to be the backbone of the church. Sabi niya, alam niyo, yung mga tatlong leader doon na pinakamatataas, napagtanto din nila, matapos ko ipaliwanag, na tinawag ako ni Jesus para ituro yung kaligtasan na hindi naman bagay tanggapin ng mga tao, pero ibinibigay ng Diyos dahil mabait ang Diyos. Sabi niya, noon lang nila naisip yun. Sila to mga leader, sila pa naman yung mga leader. They were supposed to be the backbone of the church. And I had to explain it to them. So sabi niya, finally pumayag sila, na sige, sugo ako ng Diyos sa mga Gentile at si Pedro at sila sugo sa mga Jews. In other words, may kanya-kanya silang gagawin kasi magkaiba yung audience. Therefore, magkaiba yung treatment sa mga Jewish Christians at iba sa mga Gentile Christians. Ang totoo, mas madali. Kaya nga, good news. Magtataka ka naman kahit ngayong araw na to, marami na ngang Gentile Christians, pinipilit pa ngayong maging Jewish Christians na naman. Di kailangan na naman nilang sundin lahat ng batas, ang lahat ng kaugalian na pinalaya na nga ni Jesus yung mga tao mula doon. Kumbaga para kang tinanggalan ng tali, eto ka ngayon, nagbo-volunteer patali uli. Dahil nakikidyo ka, nakikiuso, nakikisunod. In AD 70, when Jesus died and lived again, God had set the people of Israel free from the law by believing in Jesus. But they rejected Jesus. Many of them anyway. Kasi sila Peter, Jew din naman, pero naging Christian. So, itinitigil na ng Diyos Ama sa langit yung hirap ng pagsunod sa law na ipinagpipilitan ng mga Jews. Kaya si Jesus, ang tinanong, what is the most important commandment? Sabi niya, love God and love your fellow men. Hindi naman niya sinabing, observe the Sabbath, don't eat this, don't eat that. Pinalaya na niya yung mga tao sa mga yon. At buong buhay niya, Sabat na Sabat, nagtatrabaho siya. Pinapakita niyang malaya na kayo. Dapat kung anong mabuting gawin, yun ang gawin kahit anong araw. Kaya nagalit nga sa kanya yung mga religious leaders. So, noong ang Panginoon ay namatay at nabuhay na muli, pinalaya na yung mga Israelites from sacrificial religion. Yung lagi nagsasacrifice sa mga hayop para dumugo ito, para mamatay ito, para mapatawad yung mga nagdarasal doon. Pinalaya na sila because by one single sacrifice, Jesus carried in His body the sins of the world, paid for it perfectly, and gained redemption for everyone. Pero marami pa rin nagpilit. Tuloy pa rin ang kanilang sacrificial service. Kaya noong AD 70, when the Jews revolted against Rome, Rome destroyed the temple forever. When the temple was destroyed, there could be no more sacrifices that could be done. The Jewish sacrificial system died. Kasi kung hindi mawawala yung temple, ipagpipilitan pa rin nilang ituloy. Kaya nga yung temple na may kortinang humahati sa mga tao at sa Diyos, hindi pwedeng pumunta yung mga tao sa kabila ng kortina na yun, nahati yun mula taas hanggang baba nung si Jesus ay namatay sa krus. Ibig sabihin, wala nang kurti-kurtina. Wala nang hati-hati. Hindi na kailangan yung division na ito yung common place, holy place, the most holy place. Wala nang ganun. Everybody can approach God directly through Jesus. People can be saved by believing in Jesus. There was no more need for sacrifices. Itinuloy pa rin nila, the Lord allowed the temple to be destroyed. Ngayon, ito na naman yung mga mahilig sa Israel. Gusto na naman nilang buuin yung templo. Para ano? Para mag-service na naman doon, para mag-sacrifice na naman. Hindi na baliwala na naman yung kamatayan ni Jesus. Kung aalamin lang ng mga Kristiyano ang history, kahit walang theology, history lang, makikita nila, winakasan na ng Diyos yung sistema na yan dahil sobrang magpahirap sa tao. Sobrang mag-control. Pinalaya na ni Jesus at pinagpapahinga niya ang mga tao. Kaya sabi niya, come to me all of you who are tired. Tired from what? Tired from the temple. Tired from too much religiosity. Come to me all of you who are tired and heavy laden, and I'll give you rest. Take my yoke upon you. I will give you rest. My yoke is easy. My burden is light. Pag na-realize natin yan, you will fall in love with Jesus more and more. And you will be more relaxed. At mabait ka pa sa kapwa-tao mo kasi hindi ka parang Jewish Pharisee na laging law, bawal, ang laman ng utak. Galatians 2:11-12. When Peter came to Antioch, I told him face to face that he was wrong. He used to eat with Gentile followers of the Lord until James sent some Jewish followers. Peter was afraid of the Jews and soon stopped eating with Gentiles. Nakita nyo ito? Si Peter, palibhasa tinuruan na ng Diyos na kumain ng mga unclean food sa tingin nila, pinapunta sa bahay ni Cornelius who was a Gentile, alam na niya na pwede nang gawin yun. Pwede nang kainin yung mga dating bawal. Pwede nang makipagbabutihan, makiisa sa mga Gentile believers. Yung mga Jewish Christians, ayaw pa rin nila. Hindi pa rin sila papayag na pupunta ka sa bahay ng Gentile, makisalo ka sa pagkain sa hapagkainan ng mga Gentile. Pero si Peter, palibhasa tinuruan na yan ni Lord. Nagkaroon pa siya ng vision sa Joppa. Ginagawa na niya. Pero anong ginawa ni Peter? Nung dumating yung mga tao na padala ni James, bigla siyang tumayo, umalis siya sa mesa, nakasama niya, kasalong kumakain ng mga Gentile, at lumipat siya sa mesa ng mga Jew lamang. Kaya siya nirebuke ni Paul. Sabi niya, ano ka? Alam mo na pwede, ginagawa mo na. Sa takot mo lang sa mga Jew, galing sa Jerusalem, padala ni James, itinakwil mo na naman yung mga Gentile, umalis ka na naman at tumalikod, edi parang walang nangyaring vision sa'yo. Parang hindi tayo tinuruan ng Diyos na makiisa na sa mga Gentile at talikuran na yung pagiging exclusive. So there was a variance in adherence to the law among the Jerusalem leaders. Remember that Peter had the Joppa vision and he was sent by God to eat with Cornelius. But now under pressure from the Judaizer faction, he stopped doing that. Anong sabi ng law? No eating with Gentiles, no eating of unclean foods. But Peter already knew the new arrangement. Sabi ng God, don't call unclean what I call clean. It is not unclean. At sabi ng God sa kanya, go and eat with Cornelius. He was a Gentile. Peter got afraid of the Jewish Christians. So outwardly, he seemed to have turned his back on Jesus' major teaching that you are no longer under the law. Of course, this is the same Peter who denied Jesus 3 times. So parang yung character niya talaga medyo weak. Madaling matakot, madaling magpadala. So it is important to remember Acts 10:34-36. Si Pedro mismo ang nagpatotoo, "Now I am certain that God treats all people alike. God is pleased with everyone who worship Him and does right, no matter what nation they come from." This is a message that God gave to the people of Israel when He sent Jesus Christ, the Lord of all, to offer peace to them. That is why Paul corrected Peter. Kasi alam na ni Peter yun eh. Sinasabi na niya yun. Pero natakot siya sa pressure ng mga conservative Jews. Kaya tinalikuran niya nung oras ng kagipitan. Galatians 2:13-14. He, meaning Peter, and the other Jews hid their true feelings so well that even Barnabas was fooled. But when I saw that they were not really obeying the truth that is in the good news, I corrected Peter in front of everyone. Sabi ni Paul. And what is the truth in the good news or the gospel? That there is no more Jewish law. No Jewishness for non-Jews. That is the good news. Yung makipot na pinto, pinalawak, binuksan for everybody. Tapos ngayon, pakikiputin na naman nila. Kaya si Paul, nagagalit. Pagtataksil sa ginawa ni Jesus sa krus, nabalikan pa yung mga batas na yan at pilitin ng mga taong sumunod sa kanila, samantalang para sa mga tao, si Jesus na lang ang sumunod ng lahat at siya ang nagbayad ng lahat. Galatians 2:16, sa pagpapatuloy ni Paul, "But we know that God accepts only those who have faith in Jesus Christ. No one can please God by simply obeying the law. So we put our faith in Christ Jesus and God accepted us because of our faith." Sabi niya, walang tatanggapin ng Diyos kung sa pagsunod lang ng mga Jewish laws. Kasi wala naman nakakasunod perfectly. Pero tinanggap tayo dahil sa pananalig natin kay Jesus. Bakit babalik na naman tayo sa mga laws? So Paul was preaching salvation by faith. The same preaching of John. Sabi niya, to as many as believed Him, who called upon His name, He gave the right to become children of God. So this is the true good news, that you can be saved, you can be a child of God as a Gentile. You no longer need to be a Jew, and you don't have to follow Jewish customs and traditions, and you don't need to follow the law to get to heaven. You get to heaven by believing in Jesus. That is the good news. Galatians 2:19-21. I have been nailed to the cross with Christ. Sabi ni Paul, I, and let me add a parenthetic expression, I, the Jew, have died, but Christ live in the Christian me. I now live by faith in the Son of God, not by works, who loved me and gave His life for me. I don't turn my back on God's undeserved kindness. If we can be acceptable to God by obeying the law, it was useless for Christ to die. Sabi niya, alam niyo, namatay na ako. Yung Hudyong ako, namatay na yon. At kung nabubuhay man ako, ang nabubuhay ay yung Christian me. Nabubuhay ako hindi dahil sa pagsunod sa batas. Nabubuhay ako dahil sa pananalig ko kay Jesus. At sabi niya, paki-explain niyo sa akin, kung pwede naman talaga pala tayong maging katanggap-tanggap sa Diyos sa pamamagitan ng pagsunod sa mga batas na yan, bali wala ang kamatayan ni Kristo, di dapat sumunod na lang tayong lahat. Ba't pa siya na abalang mamatay? Kaya si Paul nang gagalaiti, kasi ang nababaliwala yung sakripisyo ni Jesus. Binabaliwala mo ang sakripisyo ni Jesus, pag ipinilit mo pa rin na maging Jewish para maging anak ng Diyos. Sabi niya, sayang ang hirap niya. Ibinibigay niya sa inyo ng libre, pipilitin niyo pong pagurin ang sarili niyo na kahit naman kayo mamatay sa pagod, hindi niyo makakamit yung salvation na yan on your own works. That was how important it was to teach and insist on salvation by faith. To insist on Gentile believers not having to become Jewish. Tapos ngayon, ipapauso na naman na maging Jew. Ligaw na ligaw. Kaya kailangan pag-aralan. Kaya kayo mga kapatid, paminsan-minsan, kung serious yung pag-aaral, seriously nyo rin. Hindi laging gusto nyo yung nakakatawang message, no? Tawa na kayo, aliw na aliw kayo dyan. Dapat nag-aaral din tayo ng mahirap. Kasi pinaghirapan ni Jesus yan. Galatians 3:1-2, Alam niyo sabi ni Paul, "You stupid Galatians, has someone now put an evil spell on you?" Kung naghahanap kayo ng mas malambot na version, yung mas sugar-coated, wala kayong makikita. Lahat yan yun. Kasi yan ang sabi ni Paul, mga hangal kayo. May nangkulam ba sa inyo? Sabi niya, para kayo nakulam Naturuan ko na kayo ng salvation by faith, ngayon works na naman. Gentile na nga kayo, magpapa-Jew pa kayo, para kayo mga nakulam. How would Paul call present-day Christians who try hard to look and appear Jewish, who try hard to preach to and impose Jewishness on Gentile believers? Same words, siguro ang sasabihin ni Paul. Sabi niya sa verse 2, I want to know only one thing. How were you given God's Spirit? Was it in obeying the law of Moses? Or by hearing about Christ and having faith in Him? Sa inyo, naranasan nyo na ang Espiritu ng Diyos. Nakakita na kayo ng mga himala. May nagbago na sa inyong mga buhay. Bakit nangyari yon? Sa pag-obey nyo ba sa law? Hindi naman Yun lang dumating yung law na yan sa buhay nyo. Sabi, nakaranas kayo ng kaligtasan, nakaranas kayo ng work ng Spirit dahil nanalig kayo kay Jesus. At yun ay sapat na. Magkaiba ang law or Judaism versus grace and faith in Jesus. Magkaiba yon at dapat malinaw yon sa mga mananampalatayang nag-iisip. Malaking kaibahan. The difference between law and grace necessitated Jesus' appearance to Paul. It necessitated Paul's journeys into the third heaven. Ganon kalaki ang issue. Hindi dapat baliwalain. Galatians 3:3-5. How can you be so stupid? Have you gone through all this for nothing? Is it all really for nothing? God gives you His Spirit and works miracle in you. But does He do this because you obeyed the law of Moses? Or because you have heard about Christ and have faith in Him? Sabi niya, paano kayo pwedeng maging ganyan kahangal? Ibig niyo sabihin, naranasan niyo ang lahat ng kaligtasan kay Jesus? Parang baliwala lang. Ngayon, tatalikuran niyo yon para maging Jewish kayo? Ano bang nagawa sa inyo ng law of Moses? The more you read the law of Moses, the more you get condemned. The more you become hopeless. Pero kayo'y naligtas dahil nanalig kayo kay Jesus. So there are evidences of salvation and blessing without and before Jewishness and salvation by works. So sabi ni Paul, bakit kayo pa sa huli nyo kailangan yan? Bakit kayo magpapauto? Para kayo mga nakulam, nawawala kayo sa mga sarili ninyo. Bumalik kayo sa inyong kaisipan. Sabi niya sa Galatians 3:10-11, anyone who tries to please God by obeying the law is under a curse. The scriptures say, everyone who doesn't obey everything in the law is under a curse. No one can please God by obeying the law. The scriptures also say, the people God accepts because of their faith will live. Alam niyo ba, sabi ni Paul, na ang mga sumusunod sa law ay nasa ilalim ng sumpa? Anong sumpa? Kasi may sumpa, obey everything in the law, and if you don't obey everything, you're under a curse. So yung mga tao nagpapailalim sa law are under a curse because they cannot obey everything. Ano ba ang sabi? And here, Paul quotes Habakkuk 2:4. I, the Lord, refuse to accept anyone who is proud. Only those who live by faith are acceptable to me. Habakkuk pa yan, Old Testament pa. Yun na yun, salvation by faith na talaga. Malinaw at ipinaalala ni Paul. Sabi ni Paul, the law means curse. Obey everything. But because you cannot obey everything, it means be under a curse. Kung mahilig ka sa law. And pleasing God is not obeying the Jewish law. It is faith in God and in Jesus. Yun ang nakakalugod sa Diyos. Paul was called by Jesus to be His apostle. Paul was brought to the third heaven by God to receive the true message of salvation and faith, which apparently had been forgotten by many at hindi na yun ang tinuturo nila. Judaism na naman. Paul was used by God to bring the true gospel to the Gentiles. He was in conflict with the apostles in Jerusalem who were apparently mixing the teachings of Jesus and salvation by faith and not by works. Pinaghahalo nila yung bago na katuruan ni Jesus at yung dating mga kaugalian nila. And Paul is laboring hard to explain the teaching and ministry of Jesus for people to be free from the law. Paul wanted people to receive the true gift. And what is that gift? That God through Jesus saves people by faith. Mahalaga mga kapatid, unawain yan. Basahin ninyo ang Galatians dahil itutuloy natin next week. Walang kukurap, walang a-absent. Sabihin nyo sa katabi nyo, walang a-absent. Diba? But it's very important na sa susunod, abangan, Paul will explain the relationship between law and grace and between the old order and the liberating ministry of Jesus. Ang mahalaga ngayong itanong sa sarili dahil hindi natin alam kung makakarating pa ang lahat next week o baka sumalangit, huwag naman, pero hindi natin alam. Kaya ang mahalaga ang tanong ito, save na ba kayo? Tinanggap nyo na ba si Jesus sa inyong puso bilang Savior and Lord? Naniniwala ba kayo na si Jesus ay anak ng Diyos? Na siya'y namatay para sa ating mga kasalanan? Na pag kayo naniwala at nagpaligtas sa Kanya, ligtas na nga kayo, wala na kayo ibang gagawin, hindi nyo kailangan maging Jew. Walang kinalaman ang haba ng inyong buhok, o ang inyong gender, ang inyong ethnicity, kulay ng inyong skin, ang kinakain at hindi kinakain, walang kinalaman. Cultural issues lang yon. Ang mahalaga, save ba kayo by believing in Jesus? It is everything. Jesus died for that message. Paul died for that message. Let's have life because of that message. Kaya ngayon, iiwan ko kayo na nanalangin. Nais ko ang lahat ay yumuko sa Panginoon. At sino man ang hindi pa tumatanggap kay Jesus bilang Panginoon at tagapagligtas, in your own words, talk to Jesus, ask Him to come into your life, say that you believe in Him, and ask Him to save you. Thank God the Father in heaven for giving His Son Jesus for our salvation. Do it in your own way, in your own words, and no doubt the Spirit of God will come upon you, and the salvation that Christ gives will be yours. Kung nagawa nyo na ito, at alam nyo, nagawa nyo na, saved na kayo, by faith, not by works, through grace, isipin nyo yung mga kamag-anak nyo at kaibigan na hindi pa saved. Take